Ukraine called it Operation Spiderweb. It claimed over 100 drone attacks on military targets across Russia. The media called it audacious. And this was an extraordinary, unprecedented attack on Russia. Let's look at what Ukraine did on June the 1st and how it was done. Russia says air bases in 5 regions were targeted, but the planes were only damaged in 2. Ukraine says 4 bases and 41 military aircraft were hit, and BBC Verify has found evidence of attacks at these 4 bases, one of them thousands of kilometers from Ukraine. As for what precisely was targeted, President Zelensky says the drones were aimed exclusively at military targets, specifically the equipment used in strikes against Ukraine. To build a picture of what happened, BBC Verify has been analysing drone footage, other videos and satellite imagery. Let's start with Belaya Air Base in the east of Russia. This footage is from a Ukrainian drone used in the operation. It shows a Tu-95 long-range bomber. It can launch cruise missiles and has been used by Russia to attack Ukraine. Next, this is a satellite image of the same base from May. It shows several of this type of plane. Compare that with this satellite image of the same base after the attack. 3 of the planes we can see are badly damaged, possibly destroyed, and a wider view of the satellite image shows other planes were damaged too. There's also this video taken near the base that clearly shows smoke from the attack. And if that's Belaya Air Base, we also have video from Ivanovo Air Base, which is northeast of Moscow. This drone footage was released by Ukraine on Wednesday. In it, we see 2 Russian aircraft being approached. These are Belaya A-50s. They're early warning aircraft and can see threats hundreds of kilometers away. They've been used in the war too. As the drone seems to make contact with the aircraft, the footage cuts out. It's very likely the planes were hit, though satellite analysis is inconclusive. And as we've learned more about Operation Spiderweb, one question keeps being asked. How did Ukraine do this? It says the operation was directed by the chief of Ukraine's security service and took 18 months to plan. And while using drones in war isn't new, what Ukraine had planned certainly was. Ukraine says first the drones were smuggled into Russia. Then wooden cabins were also transported into Russia. This image, released by Ukraine, shows how the drones were then hidden under the roofs of the cabins. We don't know when this was done. The cabins were then placed onto trucks and were transported to locations near the target, reportedly without the drivers knowing what was in their cargo. Then, when the time came, the roofs of the cabins were opened remotely and the drones were able to fly out. This video, taken close to Belaya Air Base, shows this happening. As the drone emerges, in the distance, there's already smoke rising from the airbase. The drones that were used are known as quadcopters. They have 4 propellers, they can carry explosives, and they also have cameras. This allows the pilot to operate the drone remotely with the help of a video feed. And Ukraine gave us more detail on this in a post. It says the drones were sometimes flown by pilots, but sometimes when the signal was lost, they were flown by AI along pre-planned routes. Then, when contact was made with the target, explosives were automatically triggered. For its part, Russia says not all of these attacks were successful. It claims at military airfields in Ivanovo, Ryazan and Amur regions, all terrorist attacks were repelled. We can't confirm this. What's not disputed is that these attacks happened and that some damage was done. So what impact will the operation have on the war? First, the attacks have hurt Russia's military capability.
This is undoubtedly an operation that will go down in military history. And when one puts that in context, the losses in context to Russia's overall capability, that's a significant chunk of Russia's strategic bombing force.
This was an attack on Russia's military capacity and also on its security.
These are embarrassing attacks because these air bases in Russia really should have been secured better. This is a country that is at war. This is a country with nuclear bombers. This is a country that should be expecting attacks even inside the territory.
But Russia appears to have not seen this coming. And as the war continues in Ukraine, most experts agree these attacks won't fundamentally change the conflict. But they have exposed Russian vulnerabilities and have shown a new type of attack. President Zelensky said this operation was designed to tell Russia it is not safe. By that measure, it succeeded.